I had a friend who used to live in Saudi Arabia, and he was having a business meeting with another guy who was a married colleague, and they were sitting in a hotel having a meeting, and he suddenly says to my friend, "Hey, see that guy over there?" And my friend says, "Yeah." He says, "He's gay." And my friend says, "How do you know that?" He goes, "Because I fucked him last night."
Gavin, it's 9 a.m.
And this is Gatriarchs.
Listen, we are officially live. We have been recording a little bit ahead of time, so this is our first episode after we became live. And I've been editing all these podcasts, and I realized something is that I'm afraid people are going to think I hate parenting or I hate my kids.
Right.
Now, to be fair, sometimes, yeah, I fucking hate it. But I chose this. You and I paid lots of money to do this.
Yep.
I love parenting. I love my kids. So I was having this weird self-conscious moment of like, does everybody out there who's listening to this podcast just think we hate parenting and we're psychopaths?
Right. Do we need to make a disclaimer every single episode to say, hey, disclaimer at the top of the show, I would lay down on rails for my fucking children?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think, listen, this podcast is about complaining. So
yeah,
let's let that.
Because complaining is funnier.
It's funnier. But the reason I bring it up is because I came across this piece on TikTok, and then I found the article it was referencing. And if you're at all on the parenting side of TikTok, you almost definitely saw this a couple of weeks ago. This was a piece by Mia Friedman, and there was a radio host that was kind of reading it on air, and that's the video that I saw. And then I went into this piece. But the piece is called "Your Son Growing Up Will Feel Like the Slowest Breakup You've Ever Known." And it's this beautiful article talking about this mom and how, raising a son feels like this very slow breakup. And when I saw this video and then I read this piece, I was just like ugly crying to where people were like, "Are you okay, sir?" But I wanted to read this one piece because it really touched me in a way, and it spoke to me in a way that is so devastatingly accurate. So in the middle of this piece, she's talking about, as they get older. And it says, there are so many batshit crazy things about being a parent. And one that definitely wasn't in the brochure is the way you don't actually parent one person. You parent many, many different people who are all your child. There's the newborn, the baby, the toddler, the preschooler, the primary age kid, the preteen, the adolescent, the full-blown teen, the young adult, and then the adult. They all answer to the same name. They all call you mom. And you never ever notice the inflection point where one of those people turns into the next. You never get to properly say goodbye to all the little people who grow up because you. I'm getting choked up already. Woo.
Are you okay, sir? I'm sorry, sir. Are you okay?
I just want the number 5 at Taco Bell. I don't want to be ordering this. You never properly say goodbye to little people grow up because you don't notice the growing and the changing, except Facebook sends you those reminders. Anyway, it's a beautiful piece. It touched me in that way where parenting, the kind of like marking of time in parenting is so weird. And when she talks about like all of a sudden there's this new kid in your house and there's the kid that used to live there who still answers to the same name, but is a totally different person. Like this morning, I was looking at my daughter, who's 1 now, and I was just thinking, I practically don't remember you as a baby, as like holding you in my arms, wrapped up in blankets, swaddling. And that was months ago.
Yeah.
And so this piece really touched me. Obviously, it still touches me, even reading it out loud. And so to those of you who think that I have no heart, I don't. But sometimes I have a little bit of feelings, and this was just such a beautiful piece. If we ever get show notes, we'll link to it. It's easy to find. It was on TikTok. It's beautiful. Anyway, so I have feelings, and Gavin, I know you always have feelings.
That was a really that was a masterclass in acting that you just did right there by forcing those tears.
I was on Broadway one time,
making people think that you do have a heart, which, as we know, you're definitely not the Tin Man. More like a scarecrow.
Yeah.
And a bear.
I want the body of the scarecrow. I want just the snatched like tiny
cinched
thin,
waist,
cinched for days. Give me that like burlap tie.
Yeah. Whereas the Tin Man is just a barrel. Let's be honest, he's just a barrel.
There's no shape there.
This does remind me of years and years ago. When my kids were really little, I remember getting into the mommy blog sphere. I suppose the daddy blog sphere as well. And I read this piece about a mom saying she couldn't remember the last time she washed her daughter's hair. And that was long before my daughter ever had long hair, or frankly, any hair. I think she was honestly just a baby when I read it. But I remember thinking, wow, at some point this is going to really touch me. I mean, it was touching, but I thought this is going to pass me by, and I'm also not going to remember the last time I washed my daughter's hair. And now, she showers entirely on her own and she's totally independent, and I miss it. There are times my son still waves to me from the bus as he's driving away until it turns the corner, and I just live for it, and I know it won't happen forever. But yeah, that passage of time is really interesting. The days are long, the years are short, and one season fades into another. Cue Broadway music right here, no doubt about all of it. But it's true. It's true. It's true. It's all the more reason why, like, how do we savor every single day? Aside from just like, I don't know, slowing down intentionally and meditating all goddamn day, but I don't have time to meditate all day.
No, I mean, my something great is in this sphere, so we'll come back to this. But there is a weird thing where you don't get to know when the last time. There's that phrase of like you pick up you pick up your kid for the last time at some point in your life.
Yep.
You don't know when that's going to be, and it's so unfair that you don't get to have, like Mia was saying, that proper goodbye to say goodbye to the toddler and welcome the preschooler. It just happens. You only can look backwards at those moments. But I have a really interesting something great that I think will kind of maybe help solve this problem.
Oh, nice. So frequently, I think about the ways that I basically try to have mind control games over my kids, and manipulate them into doing the shit that I want them to do. And when they are spiraling out of control or really just like being selfish little shits with a total lack of gratitude, I frequently in calm times will say, I think we should have a safety word that signals to all of us that we're starting to get irrational, and it will bring it back down. And by now, I have suggested safety words about 4 or 5 times over the last, 4 or 5 months. And my daughter is absolutely rolling her eyes at me saying, Dad, you never use them. And she's totally right. I suggest the safety words. And usually the first safety word
What do you mean by safety words?
Well, okay. When I can feel that we are starting to escalate irrationally and we just need to take a step away, take a breath, I want to say, here's a safety word like eggplant or scissors or whatever, something nonsensical that signals to us all, including myself, maybe first and foremost myself, Gabe, take a step back, calm down. So it's been an idea that we've had in the family, but it's totally ineffective. I'm sure I read it somewhere. I don't know, in a sex manual, I suppose. Just kidding. Anyway.
No, but that's what I mean. That's the first thing I thought of. Was like, why do you have safety words here? Yeah.
A safety words to be like, we got to stop what's going on right now. It is not going to be constructive. Yeah. And our safety words are always something to make us giggle, right? Like nipple was our first safety word. And now my daughter is obsessed with the word shart and just goes around saying shart
I love her so
all
much.
the time. And so our current safety word now is sharty fart. And I used it last night as she was spiraling out of control because today was Hawaiian shirt day and she didn't have a Hawaiian shirt. And I said, I'm not going to hop in the car at 9:00 and go buy you something. All the stores are closed anyway. And no, you should have thought about this before. And she started to go. And I said, sharty fart. And she was just pissed. And maybe, if nothing else, that will succeed in her not saying shart around me anymore because I'm annoyed by it.
Wow. I mean, that's literally no response.
That's fine.
This you are ahead of me by what, 5 years?
More than that.
Yeah, I just feel like these are things I need to start writing down. I'm going to start finding these episodes of Gaytriarch so I know what to do when my kid starts escalating.
This isn't good advice. It's not working for us.
Well, that's Gaytriarchs, right? This isn't good advice. Don't listen to us. My God.
Also, last night I made an excellent meal last night, and I admit it was a chickpea squash stew. It was delicious. It was straight out of, stop it. It was straight out of the New York Times or Barefoot Contessa or something like that. It was delicious.
Let me guess, there's rosemary in that bullshit? Jesus.
No, but there was supposed to be lemongrass, and I just skipped over lemongrass because fuck off lemongrass and Barefoot Contessa and your good olive oil. But I raised My kids, I used to be able to humble brag about my kids eating absolutely everything years ago, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
They ate everything. There was no question about it. I've already shared my trick back in the day was to get them to eat the toasted hazelnuts. Yes, go ahead, insert joke here. Over the kale salad, and suddenly they're salad eaters. But man, my daughter has just gone downhill in eating. She will not eat anything with a bean in it, which I know you have a special affinity for beans. She just refuses to eat anything with beans. And I'm like, I'm giving myself my safety word, shardy fart, and just don't get upset. The fact that she is not malnutritious, she's not, what? Malnourished. Whoops, malnutritious. Anyway.
You're very smart.
She's not malnourished. It's going to be fine. Don't force feed the chickpea squash stew, which was delicious, by the way.
It would have been better if it had lemongrass on it.
And now, if she would have eaten it with the lemongrass. And now I'm just like, oh, Jesus, choose your fucking battles. It never gets easier.
Yeah, I was for sure the arrogant. I still am. I'm just arrogant in general, but arrogant because, when my son was a baby, he would eat anything. And so in turn, we just put carrots and broccoli and really healthy things in front of them. And obviously that's slowly gone downhill. They're both pretty good about trying new things, but if there's anything green in it, he picks it out. I feel the chicken nugget kid coming. I feel it coming.
Yes.
Even though we're fighting against it.
Yep.
I grew up in a household where nutrition wasn't ever talked about or
Yeah.
cared about, and I wanted to make that change for my kids, but I can smell the mac and cheese for chicken fingers kid coming.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
also I'm lazy, so he's gonna get it.
He was the second born. If he wanted to eat nutritiously, he should have chosen to be first.
All right, Gavin, let's move on to our top 3. This is your week, so what is our top 3 this week?
This week, we are talking about the 3 ways that you are parenting just like your parents did. All the things that you said you weren't going to do.
Yep.
I do it constantly. I hear myself. I hear my mom coming out in my own voice.
Yep.
In third place is that I say no to everything. My mom said no to absolutely everything. I could never get a drink at a restaurant. It always had to be water. We could never went spontaneously shopping. I think these are all actually good rules that she, reined in my need to buy shit all the time. And now I feel like I'm a good parent by reining in my kids' need to buy shit all the time. So I say no to absolutely everything. Number 2, if I don't say no, I say maybe. And my kids say, well, that means no, obviously. And I can hear my mom saying maybe, knowing full well it's going to turn into a no. And then finally, I have actually caught myself in the middle of myself with my number 1 attribute of my mom coming out saying, all the things I do for you, and this is the thanks I get.
Oh, man, that's classic.
Is it universal?
I feel like I've heard that on every movie, that's a good one.
Yeah, well, that's my number 1. And it all comes back to gratitude. Go ahead, cue the sappy music right now. I just want some thanks. I just want to hear thanks. And then I'll say yes to everything.
Your love language is words of affirmation.
Thanks for that. You just saved me thousands and thousands of dollars and years of therapy, didn't you?
When I teach directing to students, I always bring up the 5 love languages. That book. I love that book. We'll talk about that another day. Okay, so for me, I took this in a little weird way as usual. So these are all non-verbal ways that I have turned into my family or my parents. All right. So number 3 is This is such a dad move. I grunt when I get out of my chair like my grandma used to. She'd had this it's this small little pillow of and I am a fully fit normal dude, but I grunt every time I get out of my chair. All right. Number 2, when I'm laughing, belly laughing, and it devolves into a cough, that's my dad. I can hear my dad laughing into a cough. And you could record it, and it would be the exact same thing. And number 1, and forgive me, my mom is a listener, but this is me as my mom. My mom does this thing when she's listening to someone talk to her or tell her a story, and she is not interested whatsoever. She does this eyebrow raise thing where she pretends to look surprised and interested in what you're saying, but always at a time that doesn't match the story. So it's clear she is in no way
not
interested
listening
or connected to your story. And I fully do that. I find myself, somebody's talking at me in circles, and I just raise my eyebrows oh, that's interesting. And so that's my number 1.
You're overcompensatingly compliant in listening to their story. But
100%, 100%. So, Gavin, next week, I'm very excited about next week. Next week is top 3 lies you tell your kids.
Oh, good. Like that. I all the time.
Lies. Active lies.
How am I going to get it down to 3 though?
Yeah, but it's got to be the top 3, like the 3 that you use constantly.
Oh, I mean, it's okay. That's going to be hard, but okay.
So our next guest is somebody I've had, the burden of knowing since 2008.
How dare you?
He is a former Broadway performer. He's done 9 shows over the course of 15 years on Broadway, which is just absolutely insane. I met him doing Shrek. Gavin, I believe you did Annie with him. He went on to become a teacher at a very, very fancy school in New York City, and is following my life and trying to be me by moving to Florida, and he works there as the director of education and community engagement at a performing arts hall. Please welcome to Gatriarchs, Justin Gomlak Greer.
Oh my God! Hi guys.
Welcome.
What a marvelous and non-specific introduction. We're not gonna,
Well,
avoiding all the things that need to be avoided.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to create a safe space for the chaos we expect from you.
Yes.
But we Gavin and I, it's weird because Gavin and I both have known you, but very separately. Like we did very separate shows.
Yep.
But we've known you for a very long time, and we all 3 of us have performed on Broadway and are now doing different things. So, talk to us a little bit about your transition from going from Broadway to teaching, because that was a big change for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing shows, and I went to some
poorly, I might add, very poorly.
In the most mediocre way possible.
Only 9. You couldn't even break double digits. I mean, come on.
God, just whatever. But I went. I don't know. I went to something at the Actors Fund or something, and they were like, you know what? It's important to like plan your exit while you're still doing your things. And so I began to develop a parallel career as an educator while I was still an actor, and that over the course of it kind of came to this, the universe tells you, hey, you should be doing this thing. Just as I was thinking about it, maybe it's time to retire. I'm using air quotes for those of you at home.
For those listeners at home.
Yeah. When it came time, I was like, oh, I'm kind of ready. And then the phone rang, and it was one of the schools that I was teaching for as a teaching artist, and offering a position to me to create a position that didn't exist before, which was amazing.
Did it feel like an identity crisis, or did you welcome it and say, yep, it's time to move on?
It's so funny because I really, we do as actors, we identify our whole, when you're in it, your whole being is in it, and everything else takes aside, sits to the side, and I was ready. I was like, I made a promise to myself I didn't want to be 40 and wondering where my next job was coming from. And that was, it was like, I was like 39 or something. And I was like, you know what, maybe it's time. And then I also made a promise to myself I didn't want to be 50 and rolling around on the floor with kindergartners, which that's what I was doing. and so I bounced at 49. So it's kind of like, you kind of have these general ideas of where you want to be, and the universe kind of like takes you there.
I will say that knowing you for as long as I have, you have perfect timing with your housing purchases and sales, with your career things, like with your timing is impeccable.
His step ball changes.
I mean, yes, you know how to kickball change on 7 and 8
and 8.
Yeah, no. But rolling around on the floor with kindergartners brings us to really the point why you're here, besides for us to kind of beat you up a little bit, which is always really fun. We are gay parents, and we are Gatriarchs, and we have kids that are going to schools, maybe like the one you used to teach at. And I'm curious, as from your point of view, what the fuck should we be doing with our kids? Or
what's the secret? Tell us the secret.
Because I feel like you have a window of seeing the kids come in the door and you have a little bit of a window of how they're parented and which are the good kids and which are the bad kids. And I wonder, like, is there any advice you could give to gay parents as far as like how to prepare your kids for elementary school?
I mean, it's funny because, you know, I think in general, gay people, we do things well. We know how to do it.
We're better at things,
and we do
across
it
the board.
Yeah,
across the board,
right,
100%.
So, like, honestly, like, if I know that you're a gay parent, or if I know that there's a kid coming in that has gay parents, I'm like, okay, they've read all the books, they're doing all the things, they're checking all the boxes, they're doing everything that they need to do, right? So it's funny because, like, what advice do I have to give? Like, I don't know, you're two gay men, you're fat and you're fabulous, so of course it's going to be a fabulous experience, right?
One would hope.
Unless your kid is just inherently shitty, which then you have a shitty kid and you should return it.
Which your children are. So
and we're also
I have met them.
We're also quick to point out. We're also quick to point out that gays suck sometimes too. You know, so
I mean, in more ways than one.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
But like, right, we talked about that a couple episodes ago. It's like that's the ultimate equality, right? Is that gays can be serial killers too?
Totally.
And that was the thing actually that I wanted to say. It's like, parenting is parenting, right? Like, and I think you're going to be good at it or you're not going to be good at it. And you know, some of the parenting that I got to see I was at a fancy schmancy, you know, private school, and you know, it's kind of the same thing. Like, when you have families of privilege, some of the raising of the children will be done by people that are not the parents, right? That's sort of like what it is.
Whether it's nannies,
whether it's gay or straight, right?
But
I do think in particular, with many of the gay families, I mean, their kids have been spectacular, and I would expect nothing less.
You have very high standards, girl. Very high standards.
Wait, can we just take 1 second? I have
Please.
high standards. I went to see a show down here. In this
Oh no!
place.
Oh no!
And
Justin lives in a general area of Florida that we won't mention,
so he can be as shady as possible.
Yeah.
And there is, you know, in this general area, there's a lot of arts. We're really, really lucky.
Love it.
And there's a fabulous company, and I've seen stuff that they've done before that they do great work. It's professional. It's an equity company but I did see a production of a show that will go unnamed, but it was so bad. And I was sitting there in the audience, and I was like, is it just that I'm shady and I'm just like a terrible, terrible person? And
which is true. Yeah, which is true. Yeah.
But also, how do people get away with, like, putting these pieces of art on in these places that are, like, saying that they're directors and choreographers, and they're just terrible? Like, can I just
I think that all the time when I see a bad show. I think somebody sat down at their desk, pulled a pen out, and wrote a check for that. Somebody paid millions of dollars for that to exist.
I mean, and I'm shady with the Broadway, so I can't. Can you imagine how shady I am down here in community theater land? So, like, it's like, oh my God, it was so bad. Guys, why can't people understand the power of a good transition? Why?
We need. Hey, I mean, that goes back to your timing thing, right? You have excellent timing because you appreciate a good transition. Which, speaking of,
very important.
Speaking of transitions and casting shade, what are some of the horror stories of terrible parenting that you experienced, maybe at your last school or currently, which serves as a lesson for us going forward to avoid such behaviors?
It's not shade that you're going to present to us. It's just a lesson. It's a learning.
A learning lesson. Well, you know, I am a teacher at my heart, so I'm all about lessons. I will say this. Folks with their designer kids, they, you know, I mean, here's the thing, like, gay people have to, like, actually put a lot of resources toward.
Sure.
Not the word procure is the wrong word, but
no, but creating their families, whether you do surrogacy or adoption or even foster to adopt, it's financially significant.
Yeah.
It's the timing is a deliberate and expensive venture.
It's a luxury item, honestly. Kids are luxury items. Now that's from an outside perspective.
Sure.
I'm sure on the ground, boots on the ground, it doesn't feel so.
Oh
luxury.
I for sure ordered luxury kids, and I got like McDonald's like 2 for 1. Yeah. So
But because there was because there are so many resources that are put forth to procure these kids, like they are, sometimes they feel more like, look at, here are my kids. These are my, these are the, this is the thing I'm supposed to do. This is it.
Like a handbag, like a new, like a Birkin.
Like a Birkin bag.
Yeah.
My investment paid off, and look what a great job I'm doing.
And there's a little bit of performative.
Oh yeah, and I think especially in the gay community, the
that's
gay
what I'm
Instagram
saying.
family community, we see it all the time. And listen, we're being shady to you guys if you guys are listening, but also like we get it.
Yeah.
But like when you have the resources to do 6 photo shoots a month, because there's other people, like you do 6 photo shoots a month.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I by no means do I say that there's a lack of love there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. But sometimes when a kid feels maybe that they are part of a, I don't know, like a PR campaign,
a brand,
or something. A brand. There you go. I think that can be a little tricky, and you know, sometimes I don't know. I've seen I love kids. So, like, it's hard for me to be like, oh, that kid's a bad kid.
Yeah.
Or there's bad parenting there. But I, you know, when you see, when kids are being used, is the word exploited maybe the word? I think that is, I don't think that happens, actually, that probably does happen in branded straight families as well. But I think we see it more prevalently in the gay, well, and I'm going to say it, in the gay male community.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, and also we live in a world that's highly performative with social media. Social media is just it's universal, and it is you know, it looks beyond.
And we're
sexuality.
not seeing those families at their house, right?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing their families chosen. It's like a lot of like my mom. Yeah, exactly. My mom will always be like, "Your kids are so photogenic." I'm like, no, they're not. They're monsters.
They're hideous.
I take 70 photos, and I chose the one that I had to still scroll through the live version of the photo to find the one moment they were kind of actually smiling.
And
that's what I'm
and
on
I still
Instagram.
altered their skin tone in the picture so that it would look more healthy.
And they're both scheduled for liposuction and major rhinoplasty. Like, come on, like let's move, let's get these kids. But I think that is true. Like, if we're going to be fair, like we're all, this is the 3 shadiest people in the world. But like, to be fair, like, we're only seeing the content that they want to show on Instagram for us to see.
Which, you know, honestly, it makes sense. Like, you're not going to necessarily let people in on the disaster that's your kitchen.
We're trying to.
That's this podcast. I'm not even joking. We want to be like, show us your fucking disaster. We're going to do a thing where we'll have listeners start sending like, tweet us a picture of your current fucking disaster.
You heard it first.
That is actual parenting.
You heard it here first.
But that's great. Like, and
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, to me, there's something so much more interesting. Like, you're just so much more interesting when you're flawed. You're more interesting. Like, life is more.
Because it's real,
right? Like,
yeah.
and that's just sort of a thing that's going along with the whole world right now. It's like, let me show you my very best side. Let me show you my all of this. We went traveling. We were traveling in Egypt recently for my. I was experiencing a large birthday, and
for those of you who are just listening, the bags, if you count the bags under his eyes, you can find exactly what that number
and
is.
the folds in the neck, and the folds in the neck,
and the regret in the eyes,
and not a follicle on the head. So, you know. But we were laughing because, you know, the number of people that travel the world in these like incredible places. We're literally at like some incredible place in Egypt, and these girls, and they're like, no, like they're fixing their hair and like, okay, try this pose. Like it was the photo shoot everywhere at every corner. Look at me having a great time. Meanwhile, they spent hours trying to create some idea of what a great time is, as opposed to just being there and having a great time.
Yeah.
But I think this is partly why we're all friends, and this is exactly why Gavin and I started this podcast. Is like, we find the other stuff way more interesting. Not even just balancing out the spectrum, but like, if you were like, show me this gorgeous Christmas photo shoot, or show me the time that like you were covered in shit, I want to see that part. Like, I want to see the real, because that's when we are truly ourselves. It's like why I'm obsessed with people getting scared videos, because there's a split second where you are just yourself, just a human. There's no veneer here. You said something to me when we were doing our little talk beforehand about the Brooklyn Mermaid Parade. You want to talk about that? Tell me what that story is, because I would love to know what that is.
You guys, okay, so generally, most often, I have a mustache and no hair, right? So I'm a mustached person with no hair. You know, if central casting called, I could be cast as, some sort of a, creepy guy, predatory creepy guy. And,
like late
right,
80s Tom of Finland, San Francisco kind of vibe.
No, not that at all. Like a pedophile, like lurking in the corner.
Which is how you look at yourself every single day in the morning? No, you rock your mustache,
honey,
dude.
Pedophile chic, honey.
Yes, honey. Look at this. Yes.
See all this épaulement, the shoulder has so here I am. We're at the Mermaid Parade. It's like so many people everywhere, and I had this. I bought a bag of cotton candy, which all right. I enjoy a little cotton candy every now and again. Mm-hmm. Well, no human being can eat a whole bag of cotton candy. So
my kids can. My 9-year-old can rock an entire bag of cotton candy for sure.
God bless.
But he won't forever. But.
I can't. And so I had half a bag of like untouched, like fluffy cotton candy, and I am hanging onto it, and we're packed, and we're watching the mermaids go by. And there's this mom next to me with this cute little kid, and the kid had no candy in his hand. So I was just sitting there, and I turned to the kid, and I was, keep in mind, pedophile chic. I'm giving you. And I turned to the kid, and I'm like, "Hey, you want some candy?" And if you saw the look on this mother's face, how God. She clutched her child to her body, turned and like snuck away at a completely packed house, packed sidewalk. She snuck her kid, like they disappeared into the crowd so fast. My husband turned to me and was like, "Did you literally with that mustache on your face turn and offer that kid some candy? You might as well have pulled up in one of those white vans and just been like, hi."
We literally, like, my kid is, my older son is now getting to the age where we're starting to have the conversation of, like, if a stranger asks you this, we're having the conversations, right? Like, about good touch, bad touch, all the things that you have to talk about. I'm literally preparing him for that exact scenario. Like,
do you show him a picture of me? If you see this man,
if you see this particular man from Central Florida coming up here and offering you a half-eaten bag of cotton candy, what do you say?
Oh my God.
So one of my takeaways from talking to you is also that obviously social media is the root of all evil, obviously, and don't take candy from strangers unless they're really charming.
But follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. Please, and give us a 5-star review rating on Apple Music. But can you tell us about some of those real moments in the classroom where you were like, "This is not an Instagrammable moment, but it sure is a great moment, and I'm glad I'm here"?
Yeah. Well, I have a running joke with my friend Gary, because he's like he usually when he checks in with me, he's like, Did you make any children cry today? Because that was always like, oh, if I made a child cry, then this was a good day. This was like this. I did my very best as a teacher. No, but there was some like good pedagogy when you're in the classroom, and if like a kid is screwing around, you're not going to necessarily point the kid out. You're going to like sort of say something general to the whole class and not make them feel like they're like the focus is on them, even though you want to interrupt their behavior. So, if I do that like 3 times and someone's not picking up on it, the 4th time I do it, I'll say the general thing, and then I'll turn and I'll get right up in their face, and I'll say in like a nice way, but
pedophile chic.
Yeah, with my pedophile face, and I'm going to be like, "I'm talking to you." At which point, generally, tears, quivering lip, and then I have to say, "Would you like to take a break?"
And then you offer them a half-eaten bag of
candy. And then I pull out my cotton candy, and I'm like, "You're welcome."
And then you get forcibly removed from them. Yeah.
Does it work?
It does.
I bet.
I have to say, because in general, like, because I try, I'm not a raise your voice kind of person in the classroom. That I don't feel like there should be any that there's room for that in a classroom. So you have to find the other ways of kind of managing.
Of scaring the shit out of them.
Yeah. But listen, it's useful.
I have found that when I'm directing adults, not even just children, but when I'm directing adults, and there's that actor who just doesn't want to be there, or is annoyed that you put them. Yeah, me. When we've put them in a place on stage where they're not interested in, and their face has melted, I have found that the power of silence, because I talk a lot and I talk very fast, is when I just get silent and I don't even make a scowl. I just look over at them, and I hold. And the second they're like, why is it quiet? And they look at me, and I can see that their stomach drops. I'm like, that feels good. Because that to me is the only way to change some of that behavior. I've tried like yelling and being like pulling them aside and all that stuff. To me, it's the public silence, and everyone sees me looking at them and being quiet. Ooh, that I feel like can go really far. And I imagine with kids that could be a powerful tool.
Yes, for sure.
I would imagine with parenting too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm trying to think, has there ever been a time that I held my shit together and didn't explode and just stood there and stared in stony silence? That's where I need a safety word to scare myself into stone. Great. To scare myself. Shardy fart. Are you dealing with kids right now? Or what?
I'll tell you, that's the thing.
We'll edit this part out.
No, but no, that's the part I miss the most. Because in this position right now, I have a team of teaching artists that they're the ones that go into the schools and work with the kids, and I'm more.
You're the big boss now. You're the career woman.
Listen, she's a career woman. But the other day I went into a class. Sometimes I get to go in the classroom, and it was a classroom of first graders, and they're just so delicious and so open and like loving, and I don't know why. No one ever taught me, but I kind of know how to do it. I know how to like walk in and there's a room full of little kids, and I just know what to do. And I have a feeling they have a fairly. It was my very quick. Read that there was a rather uninspiring teacher that they had, so I was like, oh, y'all are gonna love me. So I turned, because I did have my mustache, and literally the first thing that one of these little kids, he's like, I like your mustache, and I was like, you know what else? I got glasses too, and listen.
And you had them doing full production numbers within 45 minutes, right?
Duh. Yeah. 45. 20, honey.
They knew all the original choreography to the opening number of Chorus Line.
20 minutes.
20.
Give me 20 minutes and a classroom of 7-year-olds.
Yes. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming by. This has been a total waste of time.
I was just going to say, actually, I was just thinking it might have been a waste of time because I don't think I offered anything useful. There were no pearls.
No, this was kind of a waste of everyone's time, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize on behalf of all the listeners. I'm sorry that 25 plus minutes you just spent with Justin. I think about this every day. I wake up and I'm like, man, the time I could have had back.
If only I weren't in his life. I'm not going to say friend because that's.
No, that's a big word for us.
Exaggeration.
But thank you for coming by, and thank you for demeaning yourself by being on our podcast. We actually do love you very much.
Yes,
we love you very much, and we're happy you're here.
Oh my god.
Okay, now let's get into our something great, Gavin. So this week, I mentioned it at the top of the podcast. My something great was a TikTok. I talk about TikTok all the time. People make fun of it.
Hey,
it is a great fucking resource for things.
It's fantastic.
But I saw a TikTok come across that I thought was so perfect for this podcast because it was a TikTok of this parent, and she's talking about how she uses this trick in times where you're just like, I just want this part to be over, where it's like your kid is crying or your kid's in diapers and you're just like, I can't wait till my kid is out of this phase. And you know in your heart, cut to 10 years later, you're going to weep and pay any amount of money to have one more second in that time you're in, right? Mm-hmm. So you know that in your head, but there's just you're in the middle of a crying fit or you're wandering around a park and you're just like, what are we doing? So she had this really beautiful thing where she talked about she's with her kid, and what she does is she pretends she's retired and her kids have moved out of the house. and she gets to wave a wand and she gets to come back to this moment and she gets to experience it for the next 5 minutes and how badly she wants to just have that time. And it sounds like such a stupid trick, but I have used that literally recently where I'm in the middle of chaos or whatever, and I'm just thinking, God, I can't wait till the kids are in bed. And then I think, man, I'm going to miss this. I don't miss this now. I hate this now.
Yeah.
But man, if I kind of trick my brain into it, and it works, and it's given me a lot of joy in some of these moments. One particular one is at night after we read our books, I cuddle with my son. And I want it to just be him cuddling into my arms and drifting off to sleep. But what it is I want to look at this book. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about Spider-Man. I want to look out the window. And I get annoyed. And I find myself sometimes looking at my phone. And I'm like, I'm going to be so upset with myself in the future that I don't have this 30 seconds with my 3-year-old to just watch him look out the window. Mm-hmm. I want to watch my kid look out the window again. And I'm going to hurt that I don't get to have that time anymore. So I've been doing this trick. And it's actually worked really well. So thank you to TikTok and thank you to this woman. I wish I could tag her. Eventually, when we have an actual social media team, we'll do that. But that's my something great this week. What about you, Gavin?
So my something great is more on the catty side. Nice. It is not great parenting, and it is actually something that I might regret later, which is my tween, who is wonderful, is so wonderful. And we butt heads a fair amount, and she pushes my buttons, and I push her buttons. Shardy fart. And recently this week, she said something obnoxious to me and stormed off. And I looked at my younger kid, and I didn't ever want to be this guy. I don't want to pit them against each other. I don't want to talk shit about one behind the other. I try to obviously keep that together because I know she's just going through it. She's an awesome kid. She's not an asshole. But we had a moment, and I didn't roll my eyes. I didn't say anything. I just sighed a huge, laborious sigh of, oh God, that was a lot. And my younger son goes, don't worry, Daddy. It's not your fault. It's all her fault.
Yes.
And I was like, thank you for seeing me in my suffering right now. I hope that you can forget that this moment ever happened. I don't want it to happen again, but thank you for those words of affirmation. My love language, apparently, huh?
And that is our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at gaytriarchspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at gaytriarchspodcast on the internet. David is at David FM Vaughn everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge sometime, somewhere, somehow.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs.